What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to yet another edition of Nostalgia Mania. I am your host, the real Josh Elliott. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Bryan J. Baby! What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Up here in Omaha again, so on location.
Did they give you the same hotel room, or you're in a new one?
The same hotel. Yeah.
Same hotel, but different room, though, right?
Different room. Yeah, we get to pick the hotels we go to, or if we're flying out, we get to pick which airline and all that. So,
Right
I'm
on.
getting my Hilton points, as we say.
I like it. Brody Hall in the house already.
Brody.
I like it. Appreciate you for tuning in, sir.
Well, we say already, but it's 8:30 and we're starting a little later.
We are starting a little bit later, which is crazy for a wrestling episode because we tend to go late on these wrestling ones because
Yes.
we aren't fans or anything of wrestling. So as
Not
you
at
can
all.
tell from behind me.
We don't ever see any shows.
No, not at all. But appreciate everybody for tuning in. We are on episode 46. Believe it or not, we are quickly approaching episode 52, which is, I guess, technically our 1-year anniversary. I don't know the exact date that our first episode aired. We need to, I'll go back and find that out and start promoting that. I don't know if we're going to go off of episode 52 or if we're going to go off the actual date we went live. We've been live every single week, so we haven't missed a week. So we're pretty damn close. 52 episodes will be the 1-year episode. But nonetheless, if you're listening to us for the first time tonight, we are Nostalgia Mania, and we go back and take a look at the legendary movies, specifically now, and now wrestling. You can see here tonight from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and that's kind of our concept. We've transitioned from doing strictly video games, which you can see in the logo above me with the Zelda Link to the Past. We have kind of transitioned over to movies, and that's kind of what we're going to focus on in the near future. And eventually, sometimes we'll drop some bonus episodes with some video games again. We'll go back to talk about some other nostalgic items of that time period.
Some toys. The logo's not going anywhere. We both like it a lot, so.
Logo staying. As you can see, I got that new T-shirt.
Yes.
Nostalgia Mania. So
I'm going to need something similar.
So
we were talking. We've talked off and on about doing getting some more people in. And I think there may be a wrestling place that I know of that we might be able to sponsor a match or something. We'll have to check into it. I may have to talk to the owner about that. See how much it costs.
You might have to, because I'm not in with any wrestling owners or anything. So
nor am I. I don't know any.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Well, if you do, definitely pitch that idea, because that'd be a fantastic opportunity for us to get our name out there.
I was thinking about that last week and forgot to mention it. So.
There you go. There you go. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We are live here on YouTube and on Twitch and Facebook. Actually, we are not live on Twitch. I lied to you. We are live on Facebook at Nostalgia Mania, at YouTube, JSC Studios, and since it's the wrestling episode, we are live on the I-70 Hot Tags Facebook page. So if anybody's watching on that platform, give us a thumbs up right now. Appreciate. We're still kind of alive on that. I mean, I gotta take that back. We haven't done an episode since early in the year.
It's been a while,
but I'm keeping that page going. We're talking wrestling. Figured we'd stream to that page. So without further ado, man, let's jump right into this. We have a jam-packed episode, SummerSlam 1992. It is one of the big 4 pay-per-views that WWE puts on each and every year, along with Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. Do you remember watching SummerSlam 92 as a kid or a preteen? I'm not sure how old you were, but did you watch this live?
This I did not watch live. I was in high school. Here's my going. So this would have been in August. It would have been going into my sophomore year. Back then, I wasn't quite into wrestling. I had little dip in the watching, but this is definitely one like 3 years later that we would rent at Blockbuster and watch all the way through. So.
I was a 5-year-old. So just want to throw that. Actually, I might have just been 6. Yeah, I just turned 6.
Just throw it out.
No, I just turned 5. I take that back. I was younger than my kids are now. That's crazy. But however, Ric Flair is heavily in this show.
Heavily.
I remember having WWF magazines with Ric Flair in it. And you know Ric Flair's primarily WCW, NWA, and he had a heavy stint there in 92, obviously, through the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and here tonight at SummerSlam. But I do remember having those magazines with Flair in them. So
yeah, we didn't get
definitely watching it at this time, but I don't think I was watching the pay-per-views.
We didn't get a ton of the magazines. I mostly watched like the Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings because they did have wrestling on both days back in the territory days. But like at this time, I wasn't really watching or getting any of the magazines.
Yeah, I used to had past tense had a ton of WWF magazines from the early 90s, and I don't think I have a single one of them left. They're all gone. I wish I would have kept them, but nonetheless, life happens, and we don't think to save things like that. So I am going to, before we dive into this, we do have some viewers here. We're going to do it right now, and we're going to do it at the end of the show. We're going to play a preview of what we have coming up for Nostalgia Mania in September, just to give you guys a taste of what we do here on the show. And let's play our promo for September.
Sir, no, sir. Absolutely not.
Zero fun, sir.
All right, listen up. I'm Coach Boone. I'm going to tell you all about how much fun you're going to have this season.
You got red on you. You got red on you.
You got red on you.
Surviving. Surviving. Surviving.
What is it good for? Absolutely not. Remember no war. Everybody knows war. Yeah. What it is it good for? Absolutely. Big wheels on the streets, TGIF and commercials on repeat. My space vibes.
Mankind suplex right on our table. Good God Almighty, looks like a wreck. Wait a minute, Pierce and Helmsley and Helmsley. Mankind and Michaels are destroying each other.
Nostalgia Mania. Come take the trip.
All right. Fun September coming up, man.
That video got me pumped. I'm ready for September. Even though I don't want it to be here, I'm ready for that month of shows. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great, man. Remember the Titans, one of my favorite football movies of all time. Shaun of the Dead. It's going to be a great going back and watching that movie, which I have not seen before. I'm going to go ahead and go out and let you guys know. I have not seen Shaun of the Dead. I thought maybe I had and just forgot about it. I was watching the preview. I don't think I've ever seen the movie before.
I am not going. Every movie I've recommended so far, you've liked. So this is another one that you. This is another one that you will watch and be like, yeah, we'll probably. It has very high rewatchability.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Rush Hour is a classic movie.
Oh,
going to go back and watch the first Rush Hour, and then the formation of D-Generation X on Monday Night Raw in 1997. We just did Bash at the Beach, the formation of the NWO. Might as well do D-Generation X. So it's going to be fun. Can't wait for that. So if you guys are listening, be on the lookout for those episodes. We will be doing the retro recast for each one of those movies. So be on the lookout for to get your entries in for that. So let's dive in here, man. We are here at SummerSlam 1992. We're in London, England. We're in a stadium full of a loud, raucous, pumped up crowd. And they were they from start to finish. This crowd made me excited for the entire show, no matter if if the match was bad, if there was no build to the match, every single thing they made feel important. And that is huge in wrestling, to have the crowd involved. And it reminded me of the pandemic when we lost the crowd for a little while, and how it felt just flat. No matter how good the in-ring was, it just didn't feel as good.
Yeah, and then you saw the shows when they came back at full capacity, and then it reminded me a lot of this crowd reaction.
Yeah, it was great to see. Like I said, I loved it. They were loud the entire time. Wembley Wembley Stadium, wasn't it?
Wembley Stadium. Yep, 80-some thousand there, I want to say. Yeah,
they announced it was 80 something, and I think somewhere in the middle of the show they announced the actual number. I didn't write that down, but it was over 80,000.
Yeah, I didn't either. I have a question before we start. What do you think of? Obviously, there's Wembley, so it's a longer walk to the ring. Not as long as some of them in the past, but what did you think of the 3 or 4 stairs going up to the platform that had the ring? Were you a fan of that?
I noticed that. It was kind of I feel like every one of our shows we've done had a different setup of the ring. It's kind of crazy how that is, but I don't know. I didn't mind it. I mean, it was different. I wasn't used to it, but I mean, I didn't hate it. So it didn't take away from it.
For the one show, it was fine, but like I couldn't watch that every single show. Yeah, it wasn't. I agree. I'm probably the same way. I have a question for you. We kick off the show with Vincent Kennedy McMahon and Bobby the Brain Heenan on commentary. The Dream Team, right?
The Dream Team, the Dream commentators. What did you think about this duo on the headsets?
Well, after we get past the totally 90s opening, which was a thing. So Vince and Bobby, I think neither one of them really moved me, honestly. Like, that's one thing I remember, is that the commentary was just kind of flat. Bobby the Brain, it's like he was really good after a while. Unfortunately, he had not hit his peak yet. He was still kind of building to that, and you could hear a little bit of it. Like, you're like, okay, yeah, that's the old Bobby the Brain Heenan. Well, this is kind of like the beginning of getting him into it. I wasn't really a huge fan of this commentary team, just because I thought they really didn't do some of the matches justice, and just some of the things that Vince would say or he would say was just nothing to do with the match, or it had something to do with the match, but it was just a dumb comment. You're like, okay. Which I'll get into. There's a match in here later on where they say something, and I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah, I was with you. I like the Bobby Heenan is starting to ramp up in his commentary career, I guess, and you could hear glimpses of what he will become. But when you're sitting next to Vince McMahon, first of all, your boss at the time, I don't think we knew Vince was running the show yet, did we? In '92,
I think some people did, but it wasn't like widely known.
So
I think everybody at this point was thinking his dad still owned it, and he was like a nepo baby. Which
yeah. I didn't mind. I in very small doses, I like Vince's commentary, but for an entire event like this, he was very draining, and he had and I don't want to. Man, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Don West. He had very Don West style to him, whereas he was yelling a lot, almost the entire night. Almost too much. Yeah. It got tiring. But again, Heenan saved as much as he possibly could, but it was rough. But speaking of starting off this show, you talked about the '90s opening, the fans in London, the shots around, kind of getting hyped up. What'd you think of that?
I loved it. I mean, it's totally 90s. It's not something you see today. Like, they wouldn't do an opening like that. That is very nostalgic to me, where they're like outside the venue like that day, and they're filming like kids talking into the camera and all this, and then they put it on the beginning of it. I thought it was great. And just I laughed a lot. My wife and I did, because you would see some of the hair on people, and you're like, oh my God, was that actually a thing? You know, kinda.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was funny.
Yep. I agree. But the first match, we're gonna head into the arena, and the first two individuals to walk to the ring is none other than Money Inc. Ted DiBiase and IRS, with Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South,
who was everybody's manager.
He was here. He managed quite a bit of people in our previous wrestling show.
Yep.
Taking on the Legion of Doom with Paul Ellering, who came out on motorcycles, and the crowd.
And he had a puppet.
He did have a puppet. That he did.
That he sat in a chair outside of the ring for the entire match. Nothing ever happened to the puppet either.
I know. I was expecting something to go down with that, but they kind of just left it. Yeah. What do you think about the name Legion of Doom? Did you like the Legion of Doom, or did you like the Road Warriors?
I like the name. I was never really a fan of either. I mean, I wasn't not a fan. They were there. They did their thing. I don't know, really. My brother was always a big fan of the Road Warriors. Then Legion of Doom, he liked them as well. I think he liked more that they all wore football pads with the spikes.
Yep.
Which, I mean, it's cool. But I really wasn't a fan. Like, I didn't hate him, but I wasn't like a huge fan of him. So
Go ahead.
Which is funny, because one of my favorite independent wrestlers is Heidi Howitzer, and she comes out with pads and spikes. So
amazing, by the way.
Things change. Awesome. You know. But yeah, I think if you were to ask me today, I'd probably say Legion of Doom.
So you would prefer the name Legion of Doom over the Road Warriors?
Oh, the name? If we're talking strictly name, hell yeah.
Okay, that's what I was. That's actually what I was talking about, because Legion of Doom and the Road Warriors were the same two guys. They just, Legion of Doom was WWF, and they couldn't use Road Warriors because WCW owned it.
You got to go with Legion of Doom, but like I said, they weren't my favorite. I didn't really follow them. Yeah,
I loved them. I thought they were one. I mean, obviously, I in a tag team world, if I had to rank, they're probably going to be definitely in my top 5 tag teams of all time. I don't know if I'd put them in my top 3, but you can't leave them out. I mean, you can't argue anybody who puts them in like a Mount Rushmore of tag teams.
Right. I'd put them top 10.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Fair. Loved Ted DiBiase's look here in the all white. It was great. Love when he used to do that.
Yep.
Love his theme song. I can sit there and turn that on to full blast and just sit there and
Yep.
One of my favorites. I love the classic ones, and there's a lot of them here today that I'm gonna bring up their theme. But
and I was a fan of Rotunda, IRS. Sorry.
Yeah, I liked his too. I really did. And the Legion of Doom, the what, it's just love it. All of them had unique theme songs that kind of made each character stand out. So love that Jimmy Hart was running wild with that megaphone the entire match. He was using it,
Always.
Love that. And I have let's see. So there was a point in time we talked about Heenan and McMahon where Heenan they grab IRS's tie and they put it on the ground, and Heenan says,
funny.
"Oh my God, he's standing on his tongue." Yeah, that's not his tongue, it's his tie. He goes, "I can't tell from here."
I have that written down. Yeah. And there was a lot of shenanigans like that in this match.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do, but IRS is Bray Wyatt's dad and Bo Dallas's dad. So just throwing that out there.
Yep. That he was.
There was another spot where I don't know if it was IRS or I think IRS was in the ring and DiBiase was trying to get tagged in. And ref was checking on one of the guys from Legion of Doom on the ground, and they just sort of swapped places and they didn't tag. And I wrote down no tag, and then right after that, Bobby the Brain Heenan said, and Vince said, "Hey, he didn't tag him." And he's like, "Oh, he was close enough." What are we even doing? You know, like, hey, he's close enough. And then they just kept playing it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they went back and forth like 2 or 3 times.
It was funny.
But in the end, Road Warrior, Animal, power slams DiBiase. Crowd goes absolutely insane. Like we just saw a world title change because Wembley Stadium loves them some Legion of Doom. And they were hot this entire match. And like I said, they're hot the entire night, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
This match specifically and the world title match, they were on the edge of their seat yelling like a Chiefs football game the entire match.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome to see.
Yeah, it was good.
We move from the opening bout to Mean Gene Okerlund, who is interviewing Ric Flair, who is wearing his classic purple robe. And just kind of the classic Flair. You know, the whole story here, and that's kind of why they're interviewing him, is he's asking, first of all, where is Mr. Perfect? Because nobody knows where he's at this moment. And the story of the night is whose corner is Mr. Perfect going to be in? Is he going to be in Macho Man Randy Savage's corner, or is he going to be in the Ultimate Warrior's corner? And they're playing up who paid them off to give them the advantage. Was it Savage or was it Warrior? And Flair just kind of stands there and says, "I don't know where he's at. I don't know who he's going to. He's going to be in the corner of the winner. That's all you got to worry about.
He's in the locker room of the winner.
Of the winner. Yep. You've also got a quick little promo from Virgil, who says he is too legit to quit.
Yeah,
that was funny.
That was quite funny.
Did you have anything else before we move on to the next match?
No, not really.
All right, next match. We move and we get Virgil coming out against Nails.
Nails, or Kevin Kelly. Yeah. So,
what did you think about this one?
The match was. I have no idea what the backstory was with this one, other than what Virgil had talked about, but it was okay. Nails' gimmick was a total 90s gimmick.
Yeah.
So it was okay.
Yeah, all I have written down here on this one was that Nails was extremely gassed early on, and he's this big, intimidating figure, and he's huffing and puffing after 60 seconds of the match, and that's basically all it is him trying to catch up to Virgil, who's much quicker than him, obviously, and he ends up there's another quote here from Bobby Heenan, says that he tells McMahon that he needs to because McMahon called a move wrong, and Heenan tells McMahon that he needs to go to school so he can learn his holds.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. But anyway, Nails wins with the sleeper holds at the end of it. It was like a quick 5 to 7 minute match. Crowd wasn't obviously nearly as hot, but you could still hear they're into it.
It was a cool
And,
down match.
It was. After that first one, it kind of cooled down there. But Nails gets the victory. You can see him celebrating there at the end. And we move on to Mean Gene again, who's backstage with Sensational Sherry. Who the story of this is the Shawn Michaels and Rick the Model Martel are at each other's throats because of Sherry.
Yep.
Shenanigans. The model came out earlier at some previous show, and Sherry showed interest, and then now they're kind of fighting over Sherry. That's kind of the backstory of that, and they're asking who she's going to go to the ring with. She says she's going to go down with her man, which ends up being Shawn Michaels. And so we get the match 3 of the evening, Rick the Model Martel versus Shawn HBK Michaels. What you got to say about this one?
I believe at the time, I may be wrong on the dates, but I believe she was actually married to Martel at this time. I know she was at one point. I thought this one was okay, pretty good, very funny in some spots. A lot of shenanigans again, sexual innuendo. Just to have McMahon and Bobby the Brain Heenan on commentary for this match alone, the sexual innuendo was everywhere. It was funny. And no, Chase, I am not in the closet of the hotel room.
Well, the story of this match is that they agreed not to punch each other in the face because they're too pretty. They agreed Sherry. They're both too pretty to hit each other in the face. So the whole match, and they did a pretty good job of not accidentally forgetting that story or that agreement. And they had a pretty good match without punching each other in the face for the most until the end, right?
Right.
But rewind though, did you notice Shawn Michaels' theme?
Yeah, it wasn't the same.
It wasn't. It was Sexy Boy, but it was not the one that we know. It was it was different.
Yeah, there's been 1 or 2 or 3 different iterations.
I don't know that I've ever heard anything different than what we normally hear now. I have to go back and look, but yeah, this one was clearly a different version.
Really quick, tell Chase this is not live.
No, Chase, this is not live.
This is not live.
Correct. So we saw not only are they not punching each other in the face, we got 2 tight roll-ups where they're showed some butt cheeks of each wrestler.
Cheeks, yeah. Well, I mean, no more butt cheeks than Sherry. I mean, if you saw her outfit, I was like, oh wow.
You're right.
That's a lot.
Yeah. That is a lot. That's 3 sets of butt cheeks.
3
there. So Sherry ends up fainting, and that's kind of when they start slapping each other in the face. They finally get after each other. Both men get out and fight, and they end up getting counted out. It was a double count out. They fight up the ramp. Shawn ends up lifting up. Go ahead.
I was going to say the funny thing is they were fighting over Sherry on the way back. One had her and was carrying her. The other one would come up, steal her away, take her, and again, take her away again. And then I'll let you finish.
No, that's all I was going to say is Shawn was carrying Sherry up, and Rick the Model came rushing down and knocked Shawn down, which then he dropped Sherry, and then he lifts Rick, picks her up, and then starts walking, and then it's just a back and forth until Rick the Model dumps a bucket of water.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
Right, the water?
Right on the entryway.
I mean, I don't know. It was kind of a weird ending. It woke her up, and she was able to get up on her own at that point.
Well, I had in all caps here. Water on the entryway. Oof. That's terrible.
For the rest of the show, is that why you're saying that?
For the wrestlers, yes. I'm sure they cleaned it, but I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, it could make a slippery next entrance. So But that's that match. We had a pretty young Shawn Michaels there. He was he looked good. I thought Rick the Model Martel looked good. I hadn't seen the match from his in a long time. So, and the story was there. So it was a nice third match. We had a little bit of a Nasty Boy interview right after that. And I did want to notice, did you notice the background in those locker room interviews?
Yeah, I noticed a little bit. Yeah,
it almost looks like it looks fake. Like it looked like they painted things on the wall.
And they could have.
Like the picture frames and everything were clearly painted, but the lockers even when it turned over to Sags. And he was talking in front of you could see a little bit of an indentation, like the locker might have came out like a couple inches, but I don't know, it was just weird. It looked like it just looked like a backdrop almost, but it was a real background. It just looked painted.
I used to think they used drapes they put down on the wall that were of scenes.
Yeah, that
could be it.
Could be. If you notice, and it happens quite a couple times, J.D. McDougal, LTD, was in the background of that. It's like they were a sponsor. J.D. McDougal was like a prominent producer of flame retardant textiles, and they kind of supplied a contract for 30 different countries in the 90s, and they must have paid a shit ton of money to sponsor and be put on the back of all these interviews, because they're clearly big letters top of it. The wrestlers don't even stand in front of it because it's so high up. And I just figured I jotted that down as a former sponsor of wrestling shows.
It was everywhere.
So next match we get a tag team I'm not very familiar with, and that's the Beverly Brothers.
Yep. With
the Genius, Lanny Poffo, against the Natural Disasters, a team I was very familiar with, Earthquake and Typhoon. Yes. What do we got to say about this match?
Not very familiar with the Beverly Brothers. They were probably one of those in for about a year or two and then gone. The Natural Disasters, though, are badass.
I love me some Earthquake.
Oh yeah,
John Tenta. I have, and I might have said this on the previous episode when we covered John Tenta in a match, but I have a home video of myself and my Ultimate Warrior wrestling buddy, and I would body slam it onto the ground, and I would do the Earthquake splash, and I would jump and act like I was slamming on the ground and shaking the whole house, and then I would run and act like I'm running on the ropes, and I'd go and land, right on his chest, on my butt. And that was, for whatever reason, man, I was as a kid, other than the obvious Hogan, Warrior, all that stuff, but I was a big Earthquake fan. Growing up.
Natural Disasters were awesome. And they did moves you were oh wow, that's a big guy to be doing that,
Yep. He surprised me, just like Vader would do, and Bam Bam Bigelow. All those big guys would be able to. Big Boss Man, for a big man, they could do some pretty agile moves.
He moved,
but
CR Media says that he did the Earthquake splash to Brody. Or he said, I think, and I would allow it.
And I would allow it.
I have some friends that have a wrestling company that we could hook that up.
Man, I thought you didn't know any wrestling company owners.
I forgot about this one guy.
Oh, okay.
And he's also going to let me do a boxing match.
Oh, is he?
No, I'm just kidding.
Nice. Anyway, it wasn't a terrible match. Slow.
No,
it was good. Kind of slow paced, but Earthquake lands the Earthquake splash as we talked about. He gets the win, which I thought was good. So, Go ahead.
The crowd, the natural disasters were over. I wrote natural disasters over AF.
AF.
Because everybody loves them.
They love natural disaster. They love some tag teams, man. They were hot for both tag team matches. And another tag team that gets interviewed right after this is the Bushwhackers.
The Bushwhackers.
What do you all think about Butch and Luke, the Bushwhackers? Were you a fan of them or no?
A tag team. Yeah, they were. They were one of those that were very, very funny and cool when they first came out. After about 6-8 months of them, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I mean, they were good for what entertainment purposes for a while.
Yeah, they were funny. Kind of disgusting, kind of like the Nasty Boys kind of were. Only, it's just you'd have a sweaty ass match, and they're both dripping with sweat, and then they'd just be licking each other's heads. And
yeah,
but
crazy shit.
Yeah. Anyway, they talk about being in London. They didn't have a match on this show, but they interviewed and said they had some plans to go have dinner at the castle and just promoting the main event on who's Mr. Perfect is going to be on. What side is he going to be on? Macho Man Randy Savage or the Ultimate Warrior? So Lord Alfred Hayes has been kind of walking around the backstage area trying to find Mr. Perfect. He was first at, I believe it was the Macho Man's locker room earlier in the night, and he said he could hear a voice but couldn't make out who it was, so he couldn't give us any information. And then here, right before this next match, he goes to the Ultimate Warrior's locker room and decides, you know what? The Warrior's not crazy enough. I'm not going to get, I'm not scared. I'm just going to walk right into his locker room. And he tries it, and the door slams back on his face, and we don't get any information yet. So still don't know where Mr. Perfect's at, whose locker room he's in, and whose side he's going to be on, or whose corner he's going to be on, I should say.
Yeah, these nosy guys just can't wait. Like, come on.
Cannot wait.
Just wait. You'll find out.
I'll tell you, man. As a 5-year-old, I wasn't watching this pay-per-view because we weren't ordering pay-per-views just yet, but this was a pretty cool storyline.
Oh, yeah.
The night. You're as a fan, if I was a little bit older, if I was like a teenager or a 12 years old, 10 years old, I would be, hey, man, where's Mr. Perfect? Is he going to help Savage? Is he going to help Warrior? So I thought the storyline was the storytelling for this was great, and we'll get to that in the match.
Oh yeah.
Another favorite theme song of mine came in match number 5, and that was Repo Man versus Crush. And I immediately heard it when Crush started coming out. Was that that rock? Yeah. And it took me back, man. I love those like hard rock, just kind of almost, I don't know, it's the same sound over and over and over pretty much, but I loved it. What'd you think about old Repo Man taking on Crush here?
I have more notes about them as people than I do about the match.
Okay.
The match was good. I mean, it was kind of a car crash, Yeah. Which not in a bad way, But it was good. It was one of the shorter matches.
It was, and the weird thing is, and this pay-per-view went, it wasn't long. It had 9 matches on it, or maybe it was 8. But
it was 8.
Did you notice that almost every match, with the exception of like 1 or 2, like obviously the championship matches did, but the first wrestler that came to the ring, we didn't get to see the entrance.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Like Repo Man, we didn't see Repo Man's entrance. We didn't see the Beverly Brothers entrance. We saw them, the Genius got on the microphone, but they were already in the ring. We didn't see Nails. Nails was already in the ring.
Yep.
So really, we've only seen Money Inc. and Jimmy Hart, Money Inc. and Legion of Doom. That was the only match we've seen both entrances so far.
And they were just like, oh, and the already in the ring, the Repo Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay.
right?
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
What'd you think of Crush the way he won with that kind of just grabbing the head and like squeezing it? Kind of reminded me of I guess the Iron Claw.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the Iron Claw, which was just a few years before. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, yeah. So yeah, I thought it was good. He was over though. You know,
Yeah.
Crush was.
He was.
He just like walking in, this cool guy from Hawaii.
I would
Yeah,
like to see this, like how I'm not saying this just because I mean it's one of the big four. I kind of want to see what this card would look like in front of like I don't know Kansas City or Las Vegas or somewhere in the States, like in a normal like setting where it's not 80,000 people. Maybe put them in front of a 30,000 capacity crowd and see if they are as over or if just London is happy to have SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You know.
Well, originally this was supposed to be in Washington, D.C., but they were so popular in London like 3 months before Vince is like, nope, we're going to have it there. So it was a pretty quick, hey, we need to have a show over there. Let's do this one because of the main event.
And now you can't have an event at any venue without being at least 6-9 months in advance, at least. Oh, yeah. And especially a stadium like this, you're going to go a year.
Yeah.
So that's crazy how quick that went. What's up with the Ico Pro? That's another sponsorship I wrote down. They had a couple video pop-ups that came up.
They did, and the funny thing is, that's pretty much from 92, I believe. There's a building right outside of this hotel that has the Ico Pro logo on it.
Are you serious?
I am not even kidding.
Dude, take a picture of that and we'll post
go
it.
outside and take a picture.
Yeah, send it over. We'll post it on our socials.
I'm pretty positive it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So whatever it is, they're still in business.
I like it. All right, so we have made it not to the main event yet, but we are at the WWF Championship match where the champion, the Macho Man Randy Savage, is taking on the Ultimate Warrior. And again, the story is whose corner will Mr. Perfect be in? We bring out the Macho Man. There's no Mr. Perfect. So then, there we have it. Mr. Perfect is in the corner of the Ultimate Warrior. And then, of course, the Warrior comes out, and there's no Mr. Perfect. So, love both of these guys. I'll say this. I love Macho Man Randy Savage. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Warrior, again, never a good in-ring worker. He had his flaws, whether or not being unsafe or just he had that kind of Goldberg, aura to him. And this match was much better than I was anticipating because of everything that surrounded it, right? The story, the build, the crowd,
And they went for a while, too.
They did. It was like a 25-minute match.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is not a 10, 15-minute match. It went, which for a guy like the Ultimate Warrior, that's a long match for him. And like you and I were talking earlier, it wasn't like the best technical match, but it was good.
It was very good. Lots of false finishes.
And I do have some notes on it, too. That were
the only thing I'm going to say right now before you get into your notes is that, as you said, we're not used to seeing Warrior go more than 10 minutes. Just like Goldberg was the same thing. Mm-hmm. You didn't see very many Warrior matches where he didn't have any face paint on at the end of the match.
Yeah,
and this was one of them because he went 25 to 30 minutes in a nonstop, and he sweat it all off. So,
and he would do he would have part of it coming off at one point, part of it, but it wasn't like it is now. At the end of this match, you saw his real face.
Yep. Yeah. What do you? What? I'm gonna open it up to you and let you run through this match.
I will go through some of the notes and see if you see if you agree or not. My first note was this is a long beginning to the match, like as far as the entrances go. Seemed like it took forever for the entrances.
Well, that right there explains why they only did one entrance for the rest of the previous matches.
Yes, but we did get both of them on the entrance.
Yep.
So the next note, no technical wrestling at all big moves.
Yep.
But they did a lot of there was a lot of more chain wrestling. So I mean, there was that, but it wasn't as technical as some other matches, I thought this match, yes, Randy Savage probably did my favorite move of the night, and I want to see more people do this. He has the Warrior by the hair, and Hard Cam's facing it. He's got him by the hair. They throws him against the ring on the other side, grabs his hair, and just, I don't know how he did it. He jumped out of the ring, Macho Man did, pulled the Warrior into the ropes and let go of his hair as he was falling off the ring apron. And he just hit the ropes and just bit the dust. And I'm like, that move is fucking awesome.
It was. I had that written down too. That's one of my spots. Yep.
That was my favorite move of the entire night. Like that was it. Mr. Perfect.
How about the bright colors? Before we get to Mr. Perfect,
yeah.
Dude, the tassels and the colors and every color in the rainbow is in this match, whether it be on Savage or on Warrior. It's crazy how on both. Yeah, it's like it was all tassel in this match.
All tassels.
All tassel. Well,
it was good. I thought this was probably. Honestly, this is probably the best match of the night.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. The main, but
yeah, Bret and Bulldog put on a hell of a match, and I think from an in-ring standpoint, that match beats this one. But from a story and an overall perspective, I could probably see why people would say this match could take it. It was really, really good. Yeah. And a young Earl Hebner in this match too. I know he's probably refed earlier, but I wrote it down in this one. He's the referee of this match. Yes. And it took probably a solid 20 minutes before we even saw Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect.
And then finally they come out.
So what? Whose side is he on, Brian J? Who does he attack?
He attacked the Ultimate Warrior.
Did he attack Warrior first or Savage first?
It was a Warrior first. Savage didn't know, and he was going in, went for the pin, didn't get the pin. Then something happened. They're both something happened. They're both outside of the ring, and it causes a count out. But it was Mr. Perfect and Flair that kind of kept him out to cause the count out. And they just started attacking the heck out of both of them.
Yep. Yeah. So here, from what happened, and I have written down on my notes here. So the first person Mr. Perfect reaches in and trips Macho Man.
That's right.
At the very beginning when he got there. So at first we're like, hey, he's helping Warrior. Mm-hmm. And then at some point in time, and it took another solid 7-8 minutes, then he attacked the Warrior. And then he attacked the Warrior again behind Savage's back, which then Savage, as you said, didn't like that, didn't want to win like that. And instead of dropping the elbow, he dives outside to try to hit Flair and Perfect. And that's what ends up causing the count out. So the winner of the match is the Ultimate Warrior. However, still the WWF champion, the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes.
So, and again, this is where I wrote the note. Vince's voice is getting more and more annoying as I hear it.
Yep.
So
he keeps going and
and
going.
I think that's when I text you. I said, "Do you like Vince's announcing? Because he is getting tiresome."
I think I texted back. Vince is Vince.
Vince is awful. Yeah. So, yeah, Flair does end up finally getting a. He got a little promo with Perfect and said they basically explained that they're going to do Plan B now, that they're not helping either one of them, and the Plan B is Ric Flair is going to be the next champion. He is going after the title now.
Yep.
So, which I guess, okay, screw Mr. Perfect. Like, Perfect's going to be Flair's lackey now, which, I mean, at this point, Flair's the bigger star. I get it. But the one man that should have had a world title at some point in his career is set aside again here.
They screwed him out of it. He should have been next.
Yeah. So, again, fantastic match. Love the heavyweight title match. And I like how they put that kind of sixth, and then they put a little, I guess, a filler match in match 7 before we got to the main event, which, again, I guess we mentioned it earlier, is we're going to see a very, very young Undertaker come out in a hearse led by Paul Bearer. He's riding on the back of the hearse and taking on Kamala. And what'd you think of young Undertaker?
He was the young Undertaker. Yeah. I think this version of the Undertaker with the gray boots and the gloves made him look kind of cartoony.
Which is
in my
par
opinion,
for the course for 1992 WWF.
Kids. Skip this crap. Yes, we're about to, Chase. I thought that my only notes on this match were I mean, you could watch this match and then you could watch a match that he did 5 years ago and see the same thing.
Well, the only thing that I had written, and this one was kind of a rough match, because at one point in time Taker was on the top rope and Kamala slipped right when Taker was about to jump, and it was a cluster. Like, it could have been much worse than what it was. Taker ends up catching himself and didn't get injured or anything, but they fumbled, they did everything possible to make this a bad match, and it was pretty close to that. But it was funny because I specifically remember this as a kid growing up, how scared Kamala was of the Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how many times they wrestled, no matter, in my memory, when Taker sits up and Kamala sees that, and just his face just goes blank, and he's just scared to death, and he runs away. And that's all Kamala's doing here. Once he wins, he runs out and gets out of the ring, and Taker chases him at his slow walking pace. It was
if I could tag Chase's last comment, I would.
But this one right here?
No, the one below it.
Hell yeah, Brian J.
I'm not lying. I mean, no offense. Like, Taker to me is just one of those guys. Like, and I will get a lot of heat for this, but I am not wrong. Undertaker, Cena, Rock, Stone Cold. All of them were pushed. All of them had great gimmicks. All of them had good charisma. Great. Same 4 moves. Pretty much the same match throughout their careers. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying.
And you're not going to get any argument from me, because from an Undertaker standpoint, I was not as big of a Undertaker fan as you got people in the comment section here that would absolutely put Undertaker in in your top 5 or the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
He was good.
Yeah.
He was a great gimmick at a great moment in time. also the streak, I think, carried him. If it wasn't for the streak, would people care as much for The Undertaker?
Yeah.
I mean, really. So, but I mean, this match he was young and, Mala slipped. They had some things they needed to work on for the next match, but, it was decent.
It was.
For what it was.
It was. It was. So let's move on from that to the main event. And before we do, we've got a couple things that happen here. First, we've got interviews with both British Bulldog and Bret Hart. Always loved, big fan of Bret Hart in WWF. Love the pink glasses, love his look, love and his promo, which he usually gets a lot of flack for not being good on the microphone, had a pretty damn good interview here. I don't know. I mean, to me, it was one of his better promos that I've seen him do, because normally he fumbles a lot and does a lot of isn't great as I am here on the podcast, fumbling over my words. That's what Bret Hart did on the daily, but he had a really good promo. So I liked that. I also liked British Bulldog's promo. It was a great build to in this main event for the Intercontinental title. Did you have anything to say on either one of those interviews before we?
No, you pretty much summed it up.
Before we get to the random, I guess it's not random. We're in London. Roddy Piper coming out to play the bagpipes.
Yep.
Who was clearly not playing the bagpipes.
No, clearly not. But wasn't it Bobby the Brain said something about I don't like the bagpipes because it sounds like he's blowing into a dead animal. Freaking awesome.
It was great. I mean, he did everything he could to try to fit in. He was doing the marching, and everything was good. But I mean, his breast to blow into the bagpipes didn't match the sound. So that's how you get to. But again, it was still kind of a cool visual right before the main event. We also get an interview from Davey Boy Smith's wife, aka Bret Hart's sister, who kind of gives a little bit of a personal touch to the match that says, "Hey, this is as personal as you're gonna get." Right? It's the wife and the brother facing off. I guess it's the husband and the husband and the brother facing off for the Intercontinental Championship. So we're here. We're live. They're in the ring. Bret Hart defending against British Bulldog. Bryan J., what did you think of how SummerSlam ended?
I liked the ending of this match. I thought it was well done. The only other note that I had on it was this is a technical match. It's what Bret Hart does. Good technical wrestler. He's a good base. They had a really good match. I liked the finish.
You did like the finish.
I did.
Okay, I have different opinion on that. I like the match. It was a fantastic technical wrestling display, like you said. I'm a big Bret Hart fan. Less of a Davey Boy, but still solid in his day. Love the sharpshooter as a finisher. Love Bret Hart. He's one of my favorites of all time. And crowd noise was just as loud here as it was at the very beginning of the show. Played a huge part into it. However, as good of a match as this was, I really wish it would have finished with a decisive British Bulldog victory, as in hitting his finisher, getting the 1, 2, 3, where Bret wasn't going to kick out, rather than the attempted sunset flip and Davey just kind of dropping down and pinning him, and kind of a lucky pin is what I kind of call that.
I get that. But also I'm one of those people that I like to see someone win in a different way. Like, yeah, you could win by sharpshooter, 100 times, but you've got to have one time where you win by a pin, right? So I thought just the design of it, the way they went, sharpshooter into the sunset flip, bouncing off the rope into the sunset flip, but it fails, and then him winning. I thought it was great, just because you didn't expect it. You're expecting him to count out at 2. You kick out at 2, and it didn't happen. And they let Davey Boy win in his hometown. So all around, I thought personally it was good.
I can see that, and I do actually. Now that you explain it, the unexpected factor of him getting that 3 count was worth it, because the crowd erupted into. So I can see how that was a good ending to it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, to me, I probably would have done a more decisive victory just to make Bulldog seem stronger. How long of a Intercontinental title run did Bulldog have? I didn't look that up. I'm wondering.
I didn't look it up either. Because like I said, at this time, until about 94, I wasn't really watching it closely.
Jay says Bret dragged Bulldog about this match a couple years ago, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Dean Houston in the house. Appreciate you for tuning in, sir. We're just closing out, getting ready to close out SummerSlam 92. We're going to show some previews of what we got coming up on the next few weeks of Nostalgia Mania. But yeah, I was just like I said, I like the match. The match was great in ring. I just the only change I would have done for me personally would to change a more decisive win to make Bulldog seem stronger.
Sure.
And you looking something up, Bryan?
Yes.
And Chase says he loves those expected wins. Bret and Austin 96, Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 19.
So he held it from SummerSlam when he won it from Bret until October 27th of 92. So it was a very short run.
Yeah, barely 2 months.
2 months.
That's who did he lose it to?
Shawn Michaels.
So he lost it to Shawn. Okay.
I mean, it was someone reputable. So.
Yeah. And Shawn was coming up. Was he still an up and comer at this point? Right, 92.
Yeah.
This was, when did the Shockers? When did the Rockers break up?
Oh, geez, that was probably in the 90.
Was it 1990?
90, 91.
Okay, so it wasn't too terribly long before this. So Shawn was starting his single. I know, obviously, we saw it earlier with his singles career. So, yeah, SummerSlam 92, man.
Yeah, overall was good.
What did you, outside of, I'm going to say the big, what match would you say was the best match on the card? I'm gonna open it up to you and let's see.
Which was the best match, or which was the match I liked the most?
Which was your favorite? How about that? Which was your favorite?
Macho Warrior. I was always a big Macho fan.
Yeah.
But I also liked where is that other one? Let me look it up. Get my pages and pages of notes. Kind of like that Natural Disasters too.
Yeah.
That match was a lot of fun.
Yep. Chase says Bret said Davey couldn't wrestle and he was nervous. Bret carried the entire match, and honestly, I believe it because Bret could wrestle a broomstick. Yeah.
And still lose.
And I could tell how nervous, like just watching Davey walk to the ring and kind of just preparing to lock up. Now, once they started going, I couldn't tell as much, but before that bell rang, you could see how nervous Davey Boy was.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, and I agree. I'm not gonna say. I told you, Macho Warrior was my favorite, and if I couldn't pick one of these two, I'm gonna go with the opening match with Legion of Doom and Money Inc.
Yeah, that was good too.
I enjoyed that one.
That was.
So. All right. That about does it. We're going to close out the episode. So don't close out of the stream too terribly early. We're going to close the episode with giving you guys what we are going to be watching or covering the next few episodes in September. We've got it all lined out for you. 3 movies, 1 wrestling show. With that being said, we're going to close out before we close it. So this is my co-host, Brian J. Baby. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I am the real Josh Elliott. This is episode 46 of Nostalgia Mania. Here's what we got coming up in September, and we'll see you guys next week for Remember the Titans.
Sir, no, absolutely not.
Zero fun, sir.
All right, listen up. I'm Coach Boone. I'm going to tell you all about how much fun you're going to have this season.
You got red on you. You got red on you.
Got red on you.
Surviving. Surviving. Surviving.
What is it good for? Absolutely not. No man by no war. Everybody knows war. Yeah. What it is good for? Absolutely